Tolerate the red tide toxins quite well and at quite high numbers.
A possible natural solution to red tide now living in Sarasota Bay.
Plus, the city of Sarasota taking a closer look at short-term rentals, how that decision could affect thousands of people looking to rent their homes. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Our top story at 6, a possible solution to a problem we've been dealing with all summer, red tide.
After a season in which red tide killed tons of sea life and cost businesses millions of dollars, part of the solution may be in shellfish. ABC7's Erika Jackson spoke with environmentalists who say there may be a natural way to fight back against red tide. Erika?
Scott, Jacqueline, good evening. Volunteers with the group Sarasota Bay Watch released 20,000 clams into this water behind me over the weekend. And while they may be doing a good job at improving our water quality, you may want to think twice before steaming some up at home.
What we're hoping is that the severity of this red tide will wake people up.
Rusty Chinnis is making it his mission to reduce the effects of red tide on the Suncoast. Members of Sarasota Bay Watch and Mote Marine Laboratory are working together by releasing hundreds of thousands of clams into the bay.
They will filter out pollutants and toxins like red tide and therefore clean the water column.
They can tolerate the red tide toxins quite well and at quite high numbers.
Scientists at Mote Marine Lab like Jim Coulter say filter feeding animals like clams improve water quality, but are still testing in smaller bodies of water to see if they can lessen the effects in areas with low levels of red tide.
The more clams you have, the more red tide they could feed on and hopefully, like I say, make the effects of red tide a little bit less.
But Florida Fish and Wildlife says oysters and clams keep the red tide toxins in their tissue for weeks, which is one reason why the recreational harvesting of bivalve mollusks is banned during the red tide blooms. It's okay to eat commercially harvested shellfish because they're tested for toxins before they're sold. But consuming illegally harvested shellfish could be poisonous, even if red tide levels are low.
There's a lag period between the time the red tide dissipates and the time at which the clams become edible.
Chinnis says he wants to continue to work with Mote on this project, so visitors keep coming back to the Suncoast.
We need a clean bay or it's going to affect everything in our economy.
Now, the clams that are sitting behind me in Sarasota Bay, they come from a clam farm on Pine Island. Environmentalists plan to distribute 250,000 clams into the bay by the end of the year and continue their efforts on a much larger scale by the year 2019. Reporting live along Sarasota's bayfront, Erika Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Erika, thank you. I hope that works.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I really do. Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob, the sun's out looking gorgeous this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, it has been, and looks like we are looking at 78 degrees right now. As far as the rain goes, we had a few showers and some moderate rainfall at times east of I-75. It started a little bit west of I-75 earlier this afternoon and then worked its way off to the east on a west wind. There are still a few showers out there in the Gulf, but not much over land anymore. All that's gone and the energy used up as the day wears on, and you can see a little bit of light rain still lingering possibly out there in the north end of Anna Maria Island, but we're not anticipating any rainfall through this evening. Things will stay quiet here. Some changes though. There is a cold front that's developing to the west of us and it'll push down through our area tomorrow late. Not much to it. We're going to see slightly cooler overnight lows and we'll see an increase in clouds at times tomorrow. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds as these high clouds stream overhead. We'll have more on another cold front due over the weekend, and we'll let you know about the weather for Thanksgiving coming up in a few minutes. Scott?
Thank you, Bob. Breaking news out of South Florida this evening, where more than 24 students are in the hospital because of a mysterious illness. 26 students and 1 adult were taken to the hospital after they started experiencing the same symptoms, including lightheadedness and a woozy feeling. Hazmat crews were called to the scene of Fort Lauderdale High School to help with this investigation, but they didn't find anything suspicious. So far, any suspicion of drugs has been ruled out. All the affected students were inside the school's gymnasium. Police say the area has been contained and there's no threat to other students.
New details now on a story we've been following for you all weekend. We have new information about the mysterious death of a woman on a cruise ship as the FBI tries to determine if she was murdered. Investigators aren't revealing much in their investigation, only that 52-year-old Almarosa Tenorio died of unnatural causes. The passengers on that cruise revealing what they know to authorities, most saying they were left in the dark until after the ship had docked in a new location.
We heard after breakfast time that there'd been a murder, and from what I hear, the woman was choked, strangled to death on, I think she was on deck 16 from what we heard, and she was pushed overboard and fell on lifeboat number 2.
Tenorio's family releasing a statement saying in part Almarosa was a very loving daughter, sister, mom, and grandmother with a good heart. She will be missed by all that knew her.
A long-awaited project on Lido Beach is finally underway today. Pumping and dredging from New Pass will move almost 200,000 cubic yards of sand onto Lido to replace what was lost from recent storms like Hurricane Irma and other tropical systems. The $4 million project will be done by the new year, but the beach will remain open while this work continues to stay away from areas like that you see there. Coming up tonight at 11, ABC7's Rick Adams will report on a more permanent solution to the ongoing erosion problem at Lido Beach.
A Sarasota City Commissioner is looking to make changes on how some rentals work in our area. Harrigan Brody is trying to change zoning rules that would allow home sharing rentals like Airbnb to not follow the 7-day minimum vacation rental rule. Brody says his proposal would not change the already in place 7-day minimum requirement for vacation home rentals. Instead, it would give property owners who live in a home and are renting out a spare bedroom the freedom to rent out that room. While some opposed to this proposal fear it will not be regulated, Brody says these types of rentals tend to regulate themselves.
They are inherently self-regulating. You have the property owner or the host on site to monitor the activities, to keep things under control, so you don't see the problems that you can see with full property vacation rentals in a host-occupied situation. And that's why it's so very different.
A commission meeting happening tonight is a preliminary meeting that will allow citizens to voice their opinions on this topic, but an official decision on this issue will not be decided until a later date.
A Suncoast man is on a mission to build homes for the homeless in Manatee County. Glenn Gibellina is turning giant metal shipping containers into safe places to live, and he's doing it with the help of Bayshore High School students. They're using their skills to help build and furnish one of these homes.
What's so beautiful about these, the building envelope is done. They don't have to do walls or roofs or floor joists or trusses. All that is done. So really it's click and play, and you only need a skill saw, a tape measure, and a drill to put one of these together.
Once building codes and specifications are finalized by the county, they can start placing these homes. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, what airlines want you to know as the busiest travel season in more than a decade fast approaches.
And how a new form of DNA technology is helping police solve cold cases right here on the Suncoast.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jess Dowdrick.
And I'm Ray Collins. A record number of turkeys being passed out this year by All Faiths Food Bank.
We'll tell you how All Faiths is working to make sure no one goes hungry during the holidays. Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Josh.
Your holiday week looks pretty mild, but as we get into the weekend, some changes come our way. We'll have the details tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
No need to wait. Get the best Black Friday deals right now during the Black Friday sales event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota, where you always get better prices and a bigger selection. Right now, get America's most affordable 7-passenger vehicle, a new Dodge Journey for just $17,999, or get a new Dodge Challenger SXT, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy for just $23,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Well, travel experts have agreed this year will be the busiest holiday travel season on record. Tampa International Airport is even adding extra staff and more resources during this busy period, as they expect an almost 10% increase in traffic this Thanksgiving weekend. They're also hoping travelers will follow these simple tips as they prepare to board their flights. When picking up your loved ones, find alternative spots to park and wait. Parking at the curbside is not allowed. TPA does have a free cell phone waiting lot and a free short-term parking garage. You're also asked to arrive at least 2 hours early in anticipation of those longer lines at the ticketing and checkpoint areas. And before you leave your house, double check your coat pockets and bags for anything that's banned by TSA in order to avoid delays. Another tip that I always tell people is put everything that you need to take out in a separate bag, so that way, you know, when you get to the security, you have it all put in the bag and you're ready to go and you just zip on through.
Good idea. Or stay home.
Yeah, there you go. That works too.
Watch a lot of football on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
These 3 games. Anyway, we are watching red tide slowly go away in some places. Get a look at this picture right here. This was taken on Sunday on Siesta Key, looking good right there. Clear sky. That's the clearest I've seen it anyway, and that was taken Sunday. Hopefully it stays that way. And I was out at Swordfish Grill in Cortez, and there wasn't a problem there either as far as red tide. As they were celebrating their 5th annual Flippin' Mullet Sports Fishing Tournament. That's it. It's a long title. Anyway, there's the winner right in the middle there. That is Kenny Jeffries. He caught the biggest mullet. To start mullet season, by the way, which is kicking off right around this time. Usually around Thanksgiving, it kicks in for a couple of months. Hopefully it's good. And we know this guy, Norm. Sarasota Bay right there, beautiful shot, a beautiful sunset, and tower cam getting that beautiful shot looking out over Sarasota Bay. Things are looking pretty good right now. Temperatures for lows tonight will be a little bit warmer than usual. We'll see temperatures in the mid to upper 60s right along the coast, even some 70s out on the Barrier Islands. Siesta Key will be around 71, 70 Longboat Key, 66 in Parrish. Temperatures in the mid 60s inland. That's a few degrees above average for this time of year. We'll see a weak cold front move through late Tuesday. Now that weak front will bring our lows down close to seasonal averages on Wednesday and Thanksgiving morning. We'll start off in the upper 50s to low 60s. Another cold front is due to arrive on Saturday. That one will bring us a much better chance for some rainfall. Some showers mainly, it looks like, and that'll be throughout the day on Saturday, scattered about. There's a slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm. Well, the radar picture not very active right here. We have a few showers to the north of us right now associated with a developing low pressure area, and this low will eventually sweep a front our way. A little bit of snow to the north of us right now into Pennsylvania and New York. The Northeast is going to have a hard time with the weather on the biggest travel day, which is Wednesday, but not so much the rest of the nation. Pretty quiet weather expected. We have some high clouds continuing to stream overhead, so look for a partly cloudy day on Tuesday with a chance for a few showers, mainly in the late afternoon and evening as the front makes its way through. That wind flow will also switch to the north later on in the afternoon on Wednesday, and that will bring us in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. That will cool us down a little bit tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. Forecast tomorrow, though, we'll start off warm, 70, and we'll get up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. We'll have some clouds around. I mentioned the long-range forecast. Well, some snow over the Northeast on Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday. It'll be mainly there, though. High pressure will keep things quiet throughout most of the U.S. For the busiest travel day, and even Wednesday evening looking pretty good. Thanksgiving looks good, although it's going to be cold, extremely cold over the Northeast. Macy's Day Parade will be cold and windy. And then Saturday, a lot of people will be returning home. Could see some showers there. We'll get a little bit of rainfall here on Saturday. Another front is due to arrive late Sunday. This front will cool us down significantly, I think. By midweek next week, we're talking high temperatures only in the 60s by Wednesday of next week. So we're going to stay fairly warm, it looks like, through for the most part this weekend. 78 degrees right now. It's calm out there, and as far as the high goes today, it warmed to 83, well above the average, and will be above average again tomorrow. Here's the boating forecast as we see it. Winds will be out of the north at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet with a light chop out there. The extended forecast then calling for nice weather, just a slight chance for a shower Tuesday, Thursday, Thanksgiving, 20% chance of rain, and then we get better chances for rain on Saturday and into Saturday night. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. A new method of analyzing DNA evidence is cracking cold cases wide open across the country, including one in Sarasota.
That's right. Genetic genealogy has solved 20 rape and murder cases to date. In just the 6 months it's been used as a tool by law enforcement. As ABC7's Jess Dowdrick explains, without it, an alleged killer would still be living right in our backyards.
It was March 29th, 1999. Deborah Dalzell had just moved into her brand new home on Country Meadows Lane, where she lived alone. That night, Dalzell was raped and brutally murdered.
When something like this happens, it's a pretty significant event. This woman was a worker, minded her own business, didn't live in an area you would think something like this would happen.
But it did, and for 19 years, the killer got away with it.
People expect the sheriff's office to figure these things out. I'm sure several times throughout the years, investigators at the time thought they had it figured out and then were let down.
September 16th would be the last day Dalzell's alleged killer would know freedom. 39-year-old Luke Fleming, a man who lived just down the road from Dalzell at the time, was linked to the crime, using evidence police had all along, semen that was left on the scene. The break in the case came 3 years ago, after Captain John Walsh of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office was inspired by a magazine article.
I read in a National Geographic's article in 2015, the phenotyping, and I went, I wonder if we can use that.
Walsh and his team called Parabon Nanolab, the company behind this new technology called phenotyping.
It's becoming more and more popular, of course, every time we solve a case.
Dr. Ellen Graytack is the director of bioinformatics at Parabon Nanolabs. She and her team started using phenotyping 4 years ago to help law enforcement generate new leads in cases. Phenotyping takes DNA that a suspect left on a crime scene and uses it to predict what that suspect could look like. It can identify hair and eye color, also face shape. This is the composite sketch drawn from Luke Fleming's phenotype, but it wasn't the only DNA tool that led police to Fleming. Detectives also looked at genetic genealogy. The same lab that developed phenotyping can also take a suspect's DNA and compare it to DNA voluntarily submitted by people who are researching their genealogy.
In a lot of these cases, we're able to give law enforcement a name or a set of brothers, but this is still just a lead. So even if we tell them it has to be this person or one of these people, law enforcement still has to follow up on that. So they always have to then do a traditional investigation.
And that's what the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office did to find Fleming. DNA technology is constantly evolving and could make law enforcement's job even easier in the future.
Some departments are thinking, well, you know, if this can give me answers on 30-year-old DNA, It can give me answers on 3-month-old DNA.
Not only that, but Dr. Graytech thinks in the future, DNA technology will also be able to identify age. For Captain Wells, he sees endless possibilities.
It's even becoming portable, where you could go to a scene and compare DNA. That technology, I think, will exist, and that's a long way away, but I can at least exclude people immediately from certain crimes.
The sheriff's office is now using that same DNA technology to try to solve the Walker murders. A family of 4 was killed in Osprey back in 1959. Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Jess, thank you. If you submit your DNA to a website like 23andMe or Ancestry.com, your DNA will stay in those private databases. It cannot be accessed by law enforcement. It's only when you upload your DNA results to that public database called GEDmatch that law enforcement can then use it.
Sarasota County voters have approved a referendum to extend the Legacy Trail and its connections. It's just one of hundreds of former rail lines in the U.S. transformed into trails. The nonprofit Rails to Trails says the goal of the program is to help build healthier places for healthier people. Sarasota County officials say it helps locals as well.
It's a great way for people to get outside, appreciate nature, get healthy, get active.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7, we'll share what's next for the Legacy Trail and the rail trail system throughout the state.
When we come back, how one local school is celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Coming up tonight, breaking news, the shooting inside a hospital. Doctors, nurses, patients seen leaving with their hands in the air. The horror inside a courtroom, the father who killed his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters, what we've now learned. And the holiday storm, it's all coming up.
My grandpa was always telling me about it.
But the civil rights thing happened like a million years ago.
Still, he thought it was important that I know what it was like.
So we followed the civil rights trail to Alabama. We saw Dr. King's church,
the bridge in Selma, the church in Birmingham, and I finally knew what he was talking about.
Some things you just have to experience for yourself.
Start your civil rights journey at alabama.travel.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
Experience true automotive luxury at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Pineview School is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and in honor of that half a century, the school is creating a legacy garden, which will become a permanent part of the school grounds. This is only one of many events that are planned throughout the school year to celebrate the school's golden anniversary. That's pretty cool.
That is. Those legacy gardens are pretty cool too. As a student, I would have loved to have had that in my school.
Definitely.
A lot of these schools now have those gardens too. You know, I go to a lot of those and talk to them, and they all have little gardens going. A lot of food will be used out of those gardens. Thanksgiving looks good weather-wise.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining us. World News Tonight is next.
We'll see you again at 7 and 11. Have a good night.